What's up, guys? Good morning. Just have my morning coffee by the lake. And by the time you see this, my first video in my Recommends series, which is where I watch and review a movie recommended by one of my YouTube friends. The video for The Fourth Floor, which was recommended to me by Nye from Nye's Bizarre Cinema. When you see this, that will have been out about a week ago, I think, if all goes according to plan. And I was pondering which movies to do next, and I knew that it had to be recommendations from Jason from Horrific Nightmares JM and Joe from the HORRORman. Absolutely. Jason's recommendations were the first ones I started writing down months ago. And as you know, they've been doing the Terror in the Isles challenge. So I watched a movie from Terror in the Isles first, and that was going to be the second video in the series recommended to me by Jason. And then I said, wait a minute, but that movie came from Terror in the Isles, so maybe I should just watch Terror in the Isles, and that should be the second video. Well, I don't know. I guess we'll just say this one is the official second video in the series, but I decided to make both videos, one for Jason and one for Joe, and release them at the same time. Seemed appropriate. I mean, I actually start a lot of my mornings by watching their videos for a positive spin or whatever challenge they're doing at the moment. The length of the videos is perfect for me to fit in the morning as I'm getting ready. So yeah, not way back, but a while ago, I was watching one of Joe's physical collection videos, and he showed the Blu-ray for Halloween 2, which had Terror in the Isles, the entire documentary, as a bonus feature. So I was like, wow, I couldn't resist. So I had to get it, even though I had already picked up a copy of, I think it's Halloween 2 and 3, because it had a glow-in-the-dark slipcover. So yeah, and so it occurred to me, I finally need to watch this documentary. And I guess the reason I was resistant to it when I was a kid is that I didn't think of it as a documentary. I thought of it as a selection of clips. And obviously they do have a selection of clips, but they are packaged in a way where, yeah, this is a documentary. Are they going real deep and exploring, different themes? And it's not very talky. You have Donald Pleasance and Nancy Allen in a movie theater, introducing some of the clips and commenting on, what makes us afraid and so forth. And then you have some clips of some other, moviegoers in there reacting to the films, and a few of them even have lines, no, don't go in there, don't go in there. So yeah, and now why was I resistant to this when it came out? Well, I was, like a lot of kids, watched a hell of a lot of TV when I was a kid. I mean, we had 3 main channels. You had your UHF channels. There were times when there was nothing going on the UHF channels. So you watch reruns. So you watch shows. Very few of the shows that I watched were actually out at the moment. We're talking reruns of everything from Gilligan's Island to The Munsters to Alice. And a lot of Leave It to Beaver. A lot of those shows, Happy Days, they would have a clip show. And yeah, they would kind of contrive some kind of a plot device where they, like in the Leave It to Beaver one, they were looking at a photo album, and then as they held up each picture, they would show a clip from that episode. And it was always like a groaner, like, oh gosh, not the clip show. I'd rather see a regular episode, So that's why I kind of resisted Terror in the Isles when it came out. But of course, Jason and Joe were so enthusiastic about it, and then their challenge was so awesome. Their live ranking of all the films in the challenge was great. I knew I had to watch this and review it. So yeah, it's a good documentary, and it's just fun, and it just went by quick. I started it thinking that, after I did some lawn work, that I was going to start it, eat my water ice, and then pause it and go take a shower, and then watch the rest of it. But nope, all of a sudden, it was the end. I was like, wow, that was quick. And the cool thing is there's a TV version, and, they did the movies on both. They covered both versions. So I typed it in on YouTube, and sure enough, there it is. So I watched the first 5 minutes of it, and it has a much different opening. And yes, I did see the Battlestar Galactica footage in the opening. So Yeah, it's like, it's not really like a slightly modified, it doesn't appear to be like a slightly modified documentary for TV. It appears to be a different version, really, with just different clips. And yes, I was surprised in Terror in the Isles. They have a lot of very sexy scenes in there. My wife walked by and said, "What do you?" Walked by. She was like, "What are you watching? Some kind of sex movie?" I was like, and then she saw a clip from Alien. She was like, "Oh, you're watching Alien?" I'm like, "No, it's a documentary." But you know, they had scenes from Dress to Kill and other movies, which, you know, as you know, Dress to Kill is a hard R-rated film. So I imagine that might have been the genesis of coming up with a TV version. So I'm going to be very curious to see which, because I was trying to keep track of the movies that I saw and the movies that I had yet to see. You know, and I could certainly see how over the years and the decades, people on message boards were trying to figure out, you know, which scene went with which movie, and how it could almost become like an obsession. What I thought I was going to see was they would introduce a movie and then show a clip, and then introduce a movie and then show a clip. You know, kind of like the way they did it on the old TV shows, instead of like montages of people barricading doors from Night of the Living Dead, and then people barricading a door from another movie, and then somebody like pensively walking upstairs from one movie, and then another movie, and then another movie, and then one actress in a shower turning around to see who's there, and another actress in another movie. And it, you know, it was very, very clever the way they did that. And, you know, there were some movies they kind of clumped together in threes. So it was interesting to see them do like Marathon Man. What was the other one? There's like marathon scenes from Marathon Man and like Vice Squad together. You know, you got Laurence Olivier and you got Wings Hauser. They seem to be in different types of movies, and yet, if I didn't know better, I would have, you know, if I wasn't familiar with both actors, I would have never would have thought otherwise. But I thought that was kind of funny, and you know, it kind of showed you how terrifying Wings Hauser was in that movie. And by the way, hint, hint, I wonder what the movie I'm going to do for Jason Recommends is. So when you're done this video, check that one out. So yeah, overall, very good documentary. Very kind of light, easy to watch. Just great documentary. Joe, thanks a lot. I really appreciate the recommendation and the knowledge that you have from being a movie fan and having such a huge physical media collection. You know, like I said, it's very odd for me to double up on a movie. You're not going to see me have a 4 or more series for sure. In this case, with the Halloween 2 Blu-ray, totally worth it to have Terror in the Isles. I could see throwing this on a lot in the future. A lot of fun. And thanks a lot, Joe. I appreciate it. If you haven't seen Terror in the Isles, if you've been resisting it for some reason, I highly recommend it. Check it out. And yes, the TV cut was very good. As you can imagine, they cut out some of the more violent scenes and substituted some other films in there, and also some additional scenes from some of the movies they featured in the theatrical cut. Worth watching, both of them. And in closing, here are the top 10 films featured in Terror in the Isles that I haven't seen, that I now want to see. Frenzy, Strangers on the Train, Play Misty for Me, Bug, Hold That Ghost, Whatever Happened to Baby Jane, The Legacy, The Silent Partner, The Fury, and Conga. Thanks a lot, guys. Catch you next time.